we're joined by our cricket analyst, former India captain in Sunil Gavaskar. Sunil bhai, we are doing this interview in 2025, but we very well could have been in what, 2017, 2018, because Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli reminding us, taking the clock back to their finest hour. I think this is their 19th 100-run stand in ODI cricket. I'm sure, made you a bit nostalgic too.
Definitely did. I mean, they took the years away, didn't they? With the kind of batsmanship that we saw. I mean, it was all such, sparkle and glitter. Some of the finest shots that, we've seen from this duo over the years. Just to be able to see that was absolutely terrific. Very joyful to see both of them because, we have too many people asking too many questions, too many people who haven't even picked up a bat in a sports shop asking, questions about these two, legends of the game. So very, very good to see both of them. And I said that at the end of the first game that class is permanent and form is temporary. And I think both these legends have just shown us that.
Yeah, that is exactly what I had in mind, that cliched adage, which you had also mentioned, that, and that in the sense vindicates what you had said about these two players. Let's break down the innings of both of them individually. Let's start with Virat Kohli, because, those two back-to-back ducks, clearly the pressure would have been on him. What is it that he did differently today compared to those two knocks that we saw in Adelaide and Perth?
I think he was looking to play a lot straighter around the off stump. He didn't fiddle at deliveries outside the off stump. He played a lot straighter, looking to play in the V towards mid-on rather than towards square leg. And that made a big difference because the straightness of the bat could be seen the way he was batting. So, yes, I think that was there, clearly, yes.
So, the one thing that I noticed, and I'm just going to look at, let's say, a Rohit Sharma. He didn't start off on a great note in this series, got visibly better in the second ODI and was back to his best in the third ODI. With Virat as well, did not start off that well, is now getting back to his true self now. I wonder whether, some sort of a warm-up game, practice game, because, see, these are alien conditions, and like any other batter, what they've shown us is that it takes time to get back into the groove. Had they played a couple of warm-up matches, practice matches, I don't know, maybe even club games, then all the issues that you had to iron out could have been ironed out before the series started, and then you would have seen the best of them from the word go.
Well, that's what I've been saying about, when India tours overseas, particularly when they go to places where the ball has got a lot more bounce, Australia, South Africa, or in England, where the ball moves quite a bit. It makes a lot of sense for players to go there earlier. But we don't seem to learn because, we seem to have this business of a compact tour, and which means that, you can only go for a certain time. I don't think that helps. I mean, look at the history of Indian cricket. It's always at the start in these countries that we struggle. And why do we struggle? We struggle because these conditions are unfamiliar. The more you play, the better you get. Even the bowling. Look at the bowling today. I mean, Australia being dismissed in 46.5 overs. That means, you had 19 deliveries of Australia. 19 deliveries could have meant 20 runs maybe. So it just tells you the earlier you go, the better your chances of starting well. Like I said, in I think maybe a couple of days ago, that this cricket advisory committee should also be bolstered by the likes of, say, Tendulkar, Ganguly, Dravid, Ravi Shastri, who's always, there, and VVS Lakshman, to tell them about what is needed. I mean, having a CSE for just picking a coach and having a CSE for picking a selection committee is fine. But along with that, have these stalwarts who have gone to all these places, who have all the experience. They'll tell you, yes, I think we need to go 15 days early. I think we need to go 3 weeks early. Don't make these excuses. Oh, we get second-rate opposition, so what are we going to learn? No, even if you get second-rate opposition, the fact that you're there, the fact that you score runs, the fact that you get wickets, the fact that you're used to, when you're bowling, you get your lines and length right. These are little things, but they add up. And I hope that somebody is listening, because I've been saying this for a long time, that we must go earlier. We must go earlier. Our schedules have to be, look, if you want Indian cricket to be winning all the time, yes, we will lose. But we give ourselves a better chance of winning if we go early so that not just Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, everybody else would be just better off, and we'll start off well.
Talking about opposition, Saimi, not only official tours or official games, sometimes we've seen players go in advance to a country on their own accord, play a couple of club games as well. I remember Rahul Dravid did it a couple of times, would go to England and just play club games just to get ready for an England tour, even if BCCI had not organized that. Saimi, that's quite profound from Virat Kohli, saying that, you can play this game at the highest level for 16, 70 years, score all the runs that you want, but sometimes it does feel like that you can't just get a single run. We saw him celebrate that first single that he gets after getting 2 ducks, but also like the childlike enthusiasm that I see from both Rohit and Virat, talking about how they're enjoying this game. What did this particular interaction tell you?
Well, it just tells you, the understanding that they have between each other. They don't look to outscore each other. They don't look to outstroke each other. They both recognize each other's strengths and play according to their own individual strengths. Yes, I think there was a time earlier in their careers when their running between the wickets was a bit heart-stopping for Indian supporters, because there used to be always a little yes, no situation. But over the years, even that has gone. And so I think, when both of them are together, when both of them are batting, you can actually put your feet up and relax, because you know that these guys are going to take your team home, take the country home. You're totally, relaxed with that.
So, how important do you think it was for the two of them to finish this particular series in this high? I'm not saying that, their position in the 11 would be under any doubt going forward, but there was a good 3-4 week gap between the next ODI series. In that time, if you've, not gotten any runs in this series, you're continuously thinking about when do you get a chance to prove yourself. Now you've gotten those runs. How do that then change their mentality when they prepare for the series that's coming up, now that they've got runs, vis-a-vis if they did not have a series to remember?
Yes, I think if you don't get runs, then you're obviously worried. You're obviously worried, because of the questions that will be asked. So you would be thinking a little too much. In sport, sometimes it is better not to overthink, not to be able to, because you can't be, suddenly your game cannot go that bad. Nobody's game can go suddenly that bad. Yes, there will be a gap, so there'll be a little struggle to get to your fluency. But when you have the experience and when you have all the runs under your belt, you know that you need to maybe just take a little more time to get going, and the 50 overs format allows you to get that little more time to get going. And that is what both these players did, and that is what they will now be a lot more relaxed when the South Africa series comes, also because it's going to be at home.
Now that you've seen the two of them play these 3 ODIs, what do you think their performance has done to their chances of playing the 2027 World Cup? Has it strengthened it, or do you think it's done nothing at all because there's still plenty of time to go?
Oh, there was, look, the moment they made themselves available for this trip, it was clear that they want to be there for the 2027 World Cup. And like I said, again, irrespective of what happens between now and that particular period, whether they score runs or not, with the kind of ability that they have, they will be, if they are available, then they're going to be certainties. And I think with this kind of form that they've shown, you can write their 2 names down straight away as part of the Indian team for the World Cup in South Africa in 2027.
Finally, Saimi, anything that you picked up from this particular series? At the end of the day, we also have to address the fact that India's lost this series. Shubman really not firing on the top, KL Rahul batting at number 6, some of your bowlers really not stepping up. Overall, what have you made of India's performance in this ODI series, which I might remind our viewers, we've lost. We may be celebrating good knocks by Virat and Rohit, but you've ended up losing this series.
Yes, I think the fielding, once again, today was a different day because we fielded really well, took some great catches, and that again can be a big factor when you're to bat after fielding. Both Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli took very good catches, and that adds to your confidence when you go out to bat. So I think the fielding is the main concern. I'm so happy to see Harshit Rana getting those 4 wickets because he's been under fire, and that is a little bit hard to understand because at the end of the day, This is our team, yours, mine, everybody's team. And by all means, criticize after, but not before, because by criticizing anybody before, A, B, C, D, any player, you're actually demoralizing that player. Once the series is over, you can by all means say, look, why was he picked and why was A picked and why was B picked? Because then you also have the benefit of hindsight. But once the team is selected, we should all, absolutely 100%, all of us should back the team and want it to win, because at the end of the day, it is our team, it is India's team.
A shameful incident has taken place in the middle of the ICC Women's World Cup currently being held in India, as two Australian cricketers were molested and inappropriately touched by a motorcyclist. The shocking incident took place in Indore. Here's a story taking a look at all the details of this incident.
A man named Akil Khan has unfortunately brought shame to India's reputation, but the accused has now been tracked down and will face the consequences for his heinous actions.
74-78 बीएनएस के तहत आरोपी एफआईआर रजिस्टर की गई है। आरोपी अकील को अरेस्ट कर लिया गया है। ये अपने जो जहाँ पर रुकी हुई थी होटल रेडिशन में, वहाँ से एक कैफ़े की तरफ जा रही थी। ये 23 तारीख की लगभग 11 बजे की घटना है। होटल में पुलिस सिक्योरिटी थी, जैसा कि मैंने बताया कि उसको जो एग्जामिन किया जा रहा है कि कहाँ पर कमी रह गई।
The BCCI has condemned the incident and also praised the state police for their prompt action to nab the culprit, while also requesting that the law take its own course.
बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना, इस तरह की घटनाएं नहीं होनी चाहिए। इंदौर पुलिस ने उनको गिरफ्तार भी किया, लेकिन हमारे विदेशी मेहमान इस तरह से हरकतें करना, ये सब इसकी हम जितनी कड़े शब्दों में हो सकती है हम निंदा करते हैं। बीसीसीआई सेक्रेटरी ने भी स्टेटमेंट इशू किया है और हम आगे प्रिकॉशंस जेकर लेंगे।
हालांकि बाद में आरोपी को गिरफ्तार कर लिया गया है, लेकिन इस पूरे मामले ने कई गंभीर सवाल खड़े कर दिए हैं सुरक्षा व्यवस्था पर, महिलाओं की, खासतौर से उन महिलाओं की जो कि अपने देश से दूर मध्य प्रदेश में अंतर्राष्ट्रीय क्रिकेट वर्ल्ड कप खेलने आई हैं।
The incident took place even as the Australian women's team were gearing up for a crucial World Cup game against South Africa at the Holkar Stadium in Indore. Meanwhile, politics over the matter has already gotten underway, with both parties having a go at each other on the matter.
ये बात मानते हैं, लेकिन ऐसी उम्मीद नहीं है ना। इंदौर अच्छा शहर है, मध्य प्रदेश शांति का टापू है, यहाँ बहन बेटी की इज्जत की जाती है, पर इस तरह अकील जैसे नालायक और बदतमीज पल रहे हैं, ये हमको अफसोस है। हम लेकिन ऐसे अपराधियों को छोड़ेंगे नहीं ना, कुचल देंगे और इसकी ऐसी सजा सुनाएंगे और ऐसा उसका जुलूस निकालेंगे कि इंदौर नहीं पूरे प्रदेश में उसका मैसेज जाए कि किसी भी बेटी को टच करोगे तो सार्वजनिक जूते खाओगे और जेल जाओगे।
जब अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर से कोई मेहमान आते हैं, क्रिकेटर आते हैं, तो भारतीय परंपरा और प्राचीन सभ्यता ये कहती है कि उसका सम्मान और सत्कार हमारी अपनी एक गौरव का विषय है। स्टेडियम तक कैसे जाएंगे, होटल में कैसे उनकी सुरक्षा होगी, वो कहाँ जा सकते हैं, इसके लिए पूरा रोड मैप एक बना हुआ होता है या एक प्लान होता है। उसके बावजूद भी अगर इस तरीके की छेड़खानी हुई, ये हम सबके लिए शर्म का विषय है। और चूँकि इंदौर शहर मेरा अपना शहर है, वहाँ ऐसी घटना हुई तो मैं, मुख्यमंत्री जी ही गृह मंत्री हैं, उनसे आग्रह करता हूँ कि आप सुनिश्चित करें किसकी गलती थी और पनिशमेंट दें। कुछ तो कभी तो बताएं कि सरकार अपने दायित्व का निर्वाह करने के लिए जिम्मेवारी भी लेती है।
The incident has sparked outrage, raising serious concerns over the safety of women, especially international athletes during a global tournament. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Absolutely shameful what's come to light in Indore. Mr. Gavaskar with us. Saima, I'll take your final comments before we wrap up this particular broadcast. I know this is a stray incident. Otherwise, the tournament has gone incident-free so far. But, we'll be hosting the T20 World Cup shortly here in India. The Commonwealth Games are going to be coming here. We're also aiming to have the Olympic Games. Such incidents is not going to help the image of the country to be vying for such top-class world events.
Yes, I think because we are famous for Atithi Devo Bhava, and therefore to hear of this is very, very sad. It is without a question a heinous incident, and the law will take its course for sure. But I do hope that the guilty person you lock him up and throw away the keys. That's the only way. That's the only way that I think. Just lock him up and throw the keys away.
Right, that's brilliantly summed up by Mr. Gavaskar. Thank you, sir, so much for joining us, sharing your thoughts on India's victory that we witnessed in Sydney. A good note to end this tour, which overall hadn't really gone to plans for the men in blue.